All righty. I think we did that right. I guess we're gonna know here in a second. Let's see if the wife made it home for dinner. Probably not. Hmm. All right. All right. Here we got people rolling in. Awesome. Uh, okay. So I got some really big announcements. A lot of work got done today. Reference Olympus and Olympus to its future. So I want to share that with you. First of all, you guys know the snake I was talking about already. It's really cool scaleless rattlesnake. That thing is awesome. I've already been asked where is it going to stay, and it's going to kind of stay at both. And I'll kind of tell you what happened with that, so you kind of know how we got it and why we bought it. And I can't show it to them. I don't have it here. And sometimes I do things to try to tell people, look, join up because you guys get the information quicker and you guys know what's going on faster. And there's a lot of really cool exclusive stuff we try to do here. So come on and join the team, I didn't even tell them what it was. But the thing was, and that snake, it's really cool, but it's not like they're super expensive. And, as far as like super expensive, like you'd think, and maybe they are usually, I don't know, maybe we just got a good deal. The problem is I never see them come up for sale. They just don't. I've seen pictures of them. I've never seen one in person until today. And you just don't see them. And the guy that goes to shows for us through our shop, because remember again, shop, Olympus, separate. They're related, but they're separate. He went to a show down in Louisiana and a guy had it. It was a hot show. And so he contacted us and, this is where the cool kids hang out, Nathan. Speaking of which, you guys need to check your inbox. I just sent out a bunch of t-shirts today. So this week I'm going to be requesting some new addresses to send out the next round and then send out the next round and then send out the next round. And I'm getting to that point, BW. Give me a second. I'm getting there. I promise. And so I got the phone call from one of our partners. Is like, oh, look at this. And then said, do you want it? And I'm like, hell yeah, I want that thing. But the problem was the price was $450 is what the price was. And so we called up Kurt, who managed the money for the shop. I'm like, hey, we got $450 so shop can buy this thing. So we use it for the zoo and all that. And shop doesn't have any money. And you understand the shop never has any money, right? It kind of just stays afloat right now because it's been doing all this other stuff like the zoo and whatnot. And eventually it'll make a profit, but I'm not holding my breath, and I don't really care if it does. I mean, it'd be great if it did, but if it doesn't, as long as it pays its own bills and it lets us build this really cool zoo and something more in the community to do, and it's something to get people in the community excited about reptiles, I'm happy. That's all I needed to do. But shop didn't have the money, so I'm like, fuck, man, we're gonna miss this, and I don't know if I'll ever see one again come on the market. You just don't see these, And my wife, question girl, she's like, well, could you just buy it? And I never think of that with her because she's like, she told me one venomous snake in the house. Now there's two, but we got a whole new house, so it ain't gonna matter, right? And I thought about it and said, well, yeah. So I hit Kurt back up because I never did not talking to him since it's a shared business. I'm like, hey, what if we buy it? I mean, we buy it. It's our snake. We can keep it at the zoo sometimes and display it. We can keep it at home. We can do whatever we want with it. Why don't we just buy it? And he was like, yeah. And Olympus had the money. One of the reasons Olympus has money is, like I always tell people, keep your overhead low as possible, right? And you're going to be fine. And we'll be able to do that. Plus, we have some stable income thanks to you guys to allow us to do things like this. And so, boom, we just, I called the guy up, said, buy it, and I wired him the money, through PayPal. And said, just buy it and bring it to me. So that's what happened, and it arrived today. So, that's the story on how we got that. And it's the funniest thing. Like, wait till you see it in person. Right now, like, one of the things in the film it there too is in those cages, they don't have like display lighting on them yet. So the bottom cage is like there's a set of 3, 3, and 3, and well, it's warm back there, so it's warm enough for them now. That's not a concern. It's just you can't really film in there. And it's a juvenile. It's not a baby, but it's kind of in between. So I'd say it's probably about 18 inches. They said it's eating adult mice, and I didn't get it to feed. I did try, but we'll work on it. I want to see what Python Plains here had to say. Oh, sweet. Yeah, hit me up when you're working here. We can definitely do that. I'll give you a tour of everything. That'd be awesome. So, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. That's the funny part is you want to touch it, and I haven't touched it, but I mean, I will have to. I will have to move it. There'll be some hooking and tailing when I will get the chance to actually feel that snake. But even Kurt's like, God, I really just want to touch it, and I'm like, I'll pay you $5 if you do. Purple haze scaleless, we may get there, but it's actually het albino. So our first project will probably be albino scaleless, but albino scaleless really don't look good. Like sometimes when you're taking the color away from something that's going to be that bright, it ends up kind of muddying it. So I'd almost rather go with maybe a red scaleless and see if I can't amplify that red color to almost like this glowing neon Budweiser sign. Things like that would be cool. It's just something to have. Like, I don't ever breed it. It's just something to have. It's a freaking scaleless rattlesnake, and it'll never form a rattle, so it can make no noise. It'll shake that little butt. It's just so funny to watch. And it did try to bite me already, so I'll tell you, it's got a traditional Western Diamondback attitude. So that's news piece number 1 that I wanted to share with you and say thank you for. Now on to news piece number 2. News piece number 2 is also exciting. And you guys know that some of the stuff I talked to you about probably isn't the most interesting, but since you guys are a huge, huge financial supporter of what we do, I like to let you know how things are working with the finances. And it's, and we will definitely touch the scales when we make them. And I know the finances, it's not an interesting topic, but I do feel that you deserve, YouTube doesn't deserve that transparency from me. I like what I do with money because they just don't. But you guys do, because you fund literally what we do. So like, I wanted to let you know today, I did finalize a deal with a local investor. So what we're going to end up doing is it's going to save the business a crap ton of money in the long term. It's going to move the debt from the house out of my name, thank God, and into the business LLC. Much better. So we do have an investor coming in to do a private, basically loan funding, to take that loan off of one spot and move it to another spot at a much lower cost for the money. So that's really exciting and going to be really helpful long term. But it is a matter of getting a few things done. What else it's going to do is it's going to give us an additional $5,000 cash right now, well, in March. And what we will do with that is that will allow us to expedite the finishing of the house. So like we'll be able to spend that on things like countertops to get the kitchen finished and things like that. So my hope is that we'll get the animals in there and get the actual house done a lot faster so that people can, it's going to be available to stay in. Well, I already got someone who's looking at staying in there really soon, actually. And that's fine, although it won't be like nice yet, and we're going to do that and make it where it's nicer, and then we'll keep adding stuff as it goes. So I've got some plans for that place. So some of that crap will take a couple of years to get fully done, and yeah, see, Cody will be coming down. You'll see a cool video about that. And what's going to happen long term, this probably won't happen by March, don't get too excited, is there'll be like classic arcade in there. Like literally I've got the arcade machine for it. I'd love to add pinball. That's going to take a while. There'll be like classic video game systems to play. There will be more places to sleep, a fully functional, well done kitchen that's will be done hopefully by then. All kinds of really neat stuff, and then decorated in like different things from Olympus, like the animal sponsorships that we've done and things of that. So you know what, let's leave that a teaser, Cody. Let's just keep that one between you and me for now until we do the filming on it, because I don't want to ruin what I think is going to be a really cool adventure. So I want people to get to see it kind of as it happens and not already know what's coming, and almost like be reading the end of the chapter before reading the whole book. And so Nick, there's going to be ability to do that the way we're setting everything up. So it's going to be really cool. And I am really excited to do that. So I'm excited about getting some of that done quicker, especially getting the cabinets and the countertops on and the kitchen just done. and then getting the reptile room done, getting the sink in there, getting the hose. We already got the hose, but changing so I can just spray stuff. It's like instead of having to pour water jugs like I do now, we literally will have it plumbed. The plumbing's already there. We'll have a hose I can take. I can open something up, fill it, go to the next one, open it up, fill it, and just like roll through. And that's going to speed stuff up so much. So I'm really looking forward to that. Well, probably not, Nathan. And the reason we're not is simply this: when we sat down and we did that, we're human beings with lives as well, and there is a paid option. I mean, the paid option is on that Zeus level. The people on the Zeus level are guaranteed a spot to come in and stay, so they can come in once a year and stay. It's guaranteed. It's theirs. Yeah, filling buckets is a pain in the ass. Like, it doesn't sound like it would be, but you're constantly filling water jugs and carrying them around. So that hose is like, oh, I can do this now. And so there is kind of a built-in paid option to guarantee it, and then each tier has a better chance than the other one. But the reason we're not is the fear was we work full time, and we, like the weekends people come, we have to kind of schedule that with them and do their best to make sure we need to be here. Not because like I have to watch them, but they're I'm guessing coming to, one of the reasons is maybe they're just huge K-State fans like me, but a lot of them are probably coming to like see our snakes and spend time with us and get to actually know us, and we're looking forward to getting to know them. And but I also travel a lot, and I'm going to be traveling more for shows hopefully as things go on. So there's only so much time that I have to allocate. So by picking it the way we did, with one winner from each tier and then up to 10 people from the Zeus level, that only dictates it for 14 weekends a year out of the 50 that I got to be home. You figure out some holidays and some things I got to do with the wife. Got to, happy wife, happy life. And that's taken up probably 25 weekends a year right there. And then I only got so many more weekends for travel and things that come up. So it does mean that we couldn't just put in a pay. We talked about putting like an Airbnb too, and for things like I don't need to be there. And come on and join it, Nathan. We'd love to have you. But it's one of those type of things where my fear was if we started doing a paid option, we may not be able to meet the demand. And I want to meet the demand. We talked about Airbnb in it for graduation weekend, our home football weekends, and things like that, because you can make decent money in a college town. You got a lake house, a pool, graduation weekend. People can come there, have a graduation party, do whatever. But we decided not to do that either, just because it's here. You know what I mean? Yeah, we could look at doing something like that. That wouldn't be a bad idea for a weekend on a raffle ticket kind of situation. But that might be something to look at down the road. I probably wouldn't do it through Super Chat, though. And the reason I wouldn't do it through Super Chat is because Super Chat's great. It's a great thing that YouTube put in, and I really like Super Chats because they help us. But like, if somebody were to Super Chat, say $5, especially on raising charity money, we're only going to get maybe 3 of that 5. And so like, it would really hinder that. So what we'd probably do is just do it through like I don't know how we would do it. I mean, if we did a Super Chats, we wouldn't be able to give as much money to the charity as we would if we just collected it straight up. And I'm very big on what money I collect. If I collect for a charity, I want to take that money I collect and give it directly to the charity. And I don't like big charities. What I mean by big charities is I'm a little bit skeptical of, YouTube doesn't need the charity money. Exactly. And they'd take their piece, right? They would definitely take their piece. Tell you what, Nick, you come down. We don't even have to give you family history on him. We can just go to eat at his family restaurant. His mom will probably be sitting there. That work for you? Come down the right time of year. He does a charity there every year. Yeah, they do take their cut. YouTube takes their cut of everything. That's just what they do. And Patreon takes their cut too, but they take a much smaller cut. On Patreon, we get about 90%. Which is way better than, what YouTube even does in super chats. So we love our Patreon, but charity wise, we'll probably collect it separate and give it. But we could still do a raffle ticket system and maybe raise money for a charity. The reason I don't like big charities, because you didn't hear me say that too, is like, you look at things like the Susan G. Komen, and Susan G. Komen's great, but is it really all going to charity? Because now they have people they have to pay on staff, so they have to have this bureaucracy to run the charity. And I just feel like I'm paying people then, and not all of my money is going where I want it. And I guess you could say the same thing when we sponsor the Tiger. I mean, they got staff they're paying too, but their staff is directly taking care of a Tiger. So, this time it wasn't a Tiger. I guess it was a Bobcat, but yeah. I never thought I'd be part of somebody's dream vacation, but I'll take it. And there are some corrupt charities out there. And that's why, like, when you've looked at us donate, we donated to, in the last few years, we did that animal place, which I was Keepers of the Wild is their name. And they're legit. I'd heard of them from other people and checked into them, and they're a legit thing. So I gave to my local animal shelter, who is a legit thing. And I have given to BACA, which is Bikers Against Child Abuse. It's one of the few non-animal charities we did. And they literally will go to, like, court events with kids who have been victims of, like sex crimes or other crimes from, adults. And they will, like, make the kid feel more safe. So then if that suspect wants to, like, try to intimidate, the kid's table or whatever, they literally set behind that suspect to intimidate the shit out of him. Maybe even put trailers in kids' driveways and stayed in the trailer to make sure that his family is safe and taken care of, and nobody's going to come, and just to make them feel safe. And I think that's important. So I've donated to that. We've also donated to directly to a person's cancer, and we donated to why am I drawing a blank on the name? Damn it! Why am I drawing a blank? You're right. They're not sending their counting cash. Exactly. Oh, God. He was out of Missouri. He was a reptile breeder. And Ben Rennick. And Ben Rennick was shot and killed. We donated to that as well. So we try to keep it animal related. And the only time we really have stepped out of animals is to help children who were abused and to help a friend who was an emergency 911 dispatcher and had cancer. So otherwise, it's always been animal related. And we probably will keep it animal related. And the reason for animals is it's not because I'm a huge animal lover, though I am. I kind of feel like if I'm making a profit from animals, I kind of owe it to the ones that don't have anything to try to make their lives better too. So if I donate to a place that does charity for animals or things like that, I want to do that because it's helping an animal out. Just like we got Snyder too from the shelter. I mean, that wasn't a charitable donation, but we took an animal from the shelter and gave him a home. We've done that with all 3 of our cats. And one of my dogs that's passed away was a shelter dog. I'll admit Jack wasn't a shelter dog, but we tend to do a lot of shelter animals. So things like that is what's important to me. Which was when I wore the snake bite shirt? The BACA video? Probably. I probably did. And, so, yeah. Speaking of which, we are going to try to go down to Barczyk Zoo and film sometime. I don't know when that's going to get done. But, we've mentioned we want to travel more this year. That is also on our travel list. We'll hopefully get to bring some of that to you, in a Barczyk video. Now, I don't usually try to, like, always film with the biggest name out there to try to, like, but, I have a lot of respect for him. So I definitely want to do that since the opportunity is there. We just got to get the schedule right. Hopefully we can do something else with Dave Kaufman sometime soon, too. And I still need to go down to Kansas City and film a TGR. So that's all kind of cool. Here's what, and I got your list of Patreon things you don't like, so I will be compiling that too and sending that to Patreon. I'll have few of my own complaints, though it'll probably get put in a circular file, but hey, at least we tried. All right. What? You live 45 minutes away and you haven't been there yet, Wayne? I've heard it's really good. I've heard it's really well done. And you know what? Would you guys be interested in setting that up, like a Patreon trip? Tilly in October. We've talked about it. The problem is in October, is this. Like, one, you're in the midst of K-State football season, man. The midst of it. Two, it has to kind of like, there's a trip I take every year in October with my wife, and it has to miss that trip. I cannot miss it. So one year I missed it because of that trip. Last year I missed it because of Kurt's wedding. I was actually going to go and skip the football game and go to Tinley. Then Kurt decided to get married. So hopefully I can find a year where there's no football game and there's no Eureka Springs trip. Because I can tell you this year, there's no way I'm missing a football game because, well, I will miss at least one I know of. I'm going to try not to miss very many because we have a brand new head coach and really want to see how that works out. And much respect to Bill, but always excited to get somebody new in the chair, right? Not that they could ever do better than what that guy did, but they're also starting from, you know, not the poorest football program in the country like Bill had to start with. So, but yes, Tinley would be a great place to film. Man, that wouldn't be too bad. You know, they do sell. Actually, I'll tell you what they sell that I would use better than a tub for a ball python. They got these new display kits coming out, and I don't know. Maybe we can work something out with them on that. I'll see what I can do. And what they are is they're like a front opening cage with like sliding, and that way you can see them. But they're a steel box all the rest of the sides. They're really cool looking. They're more expensive than a single tub setup would be from them, but they come with LED lighting, heated, the whole 9 yards, ready to rock, and really, really cool setups. So like you're going to see some of those very, very soon. So I'm excited about that. But if we were going to do something as a pet setup, it would probably be one of theirs. Oh, well, hell, there you go. That's what I'm talking about right there. Christopher, order one. Let me know how nice it is. I haven't got mine yet. I think they're going to do something cool to it. So I haven't got it yet. They're going to send me one, though, to see it, and I'll probably buy more. So when you talk about the animals that are going to be on display in our house that are going to rotate in and out, those will be the cages that we'll likely use for display. Right now, these those black ones you see in my office that are old, they work kind of janky, but they're workable. I will switch it all out to these new TGR ones. So it'll be really kind of clean. It'll all flow together between my display room and my reptile room. It'll be really cool. So I'm really special to have LED lighting so the animals in them will look really nice. So I have a rattlesnake on display. You're going to see us be like, really bitching. So I'm really looking forward to that. Cool stuff coming. But it's, you know, it'll take me some time. It'll just take me a little bit of time to get all that shit done. And, you know, I appreciate y'all's patience on that too. And I appreciate y'all's patience on the t-shirt situation. But like I say, probably tomorrow I'll be sending an email while I'm sitting on the couch with the wife. I'll knock that out and send y'all out some messages. So yes, Tim, they do. And what it basically is it's made out of the same material, the XPVC, but it's made in sheets. And then at the front has a lock and a slide. So you can slide it open from either side. And they're really, really cool. They're on their website. And then the back is ventilated and everything else. So, whoa, time out, Nathan, time out. Holy shit. Are you telling me you go to the Eureka Springs Corvette trip every year? I gotta know if you do go every year. Because if you go to the Eureka Springs Corvette trip every year, I know, Nathan, that's why that's the trip I take with my wife every year. Every year I'm in Eureka Springs Corvette weekend. I don't ever miss it. Haven't missed it in years. And I still won't miss it. So if you're going there, then it'll be a similar boat on Animal Plastics. As far as better, I haven't got one yet. Man, if you go next year, you got to let me know, brother, because I'll be there. We can hook up. I know a lot of good places to eat. We'll go have some dinner together. We can all sit down and hang out. It'll be a blast. I got married down there. We love Eureka. And actually, did you go to the... Oh, shit. It's a bummer you sold it. Time to get a new one. Go down there. I love my C5 when I had it, though. My God, that was one of my favorite cars I've ever owned. But it caught on fire, so I had to go to the C6 because it was unsalvageable. As a matter of fact, did you go to the award ceremony last year? Like, they had the big show, then they had the awards afterwards. Did you go to that by chance? Because if you did, we won something. We were there. Like, we were right there. We did, like, I was in the poker run. I did the car show. We did the fuel economy run, which I got a place in. I don't know how, because my car gets shit for fuel mileage. We did all of it. It was wonderful. We stayed there at the Bavarian. I mean, That's crazy. You were there at the same time. I wish I'd have known that. So yes, and yeah, the Tinley March show would be probably a lot easier. Oh, there's not much to tell, really, Cody. What happened was, no, Dylan, they don't. I used to get in my C5, I could get 28 to 30 before I modified it. Then I got like 24. So what happened was, and this was not last year, but the year before, we took it was a navy blue metallic 1999 that I took to, I've been taking Eureka forever. It had like 170,000, 180,000 miles on it. AC was fucked up. I mean, it needed some love. And, but it was a fun car. It had a few little extra things on it, and, oh, hey dear, I'm down here filming. Oh man. Well, if you're ever down there again, visiting or whatever reason, you're gonna be there. You need to hit us up because we'll be there. I guarantee it. I mean, we just that's a show we love and a trip we love, and it's always kind of our thing. But what happened was we'd gotten back, and then we before we went to actually Eureka Springs that year, like getting ready to leave, I had a fuel line start leaking. So I ended up taking it in the shop, and they got it fixed for me on like that morning. I took it in. They got it fixed by that evening. So we drove at night. We got there in time. And what had happened was a packer had chewed through the damn fuel line because you had saddle tanks in there. So it got all over there. And so I was like, son of a bitch. And we put poison out and everything else for him. Like we had like professional companies come and trying to kill those because we love the woods. The bit hadn't been out there very long. We didn't know we had that problem until then. So we thought we were good. Well, we went, took care of it. We got it home. Everything went fine. And then I'm driving it in early November, probably like November 10th, 15th, had a little warm spell. So I took the vet out, right? And I'm rolling, and I'm like, something doesn't smell right. And all of a sudden, smoke starts coming out from under the hood. And what happened was they packed a bunch of shit, around so I had long tube headers on there, so it comes down in this big collector area. They packed shit in that collector area and it started to fire, then it burned up through. So like we basically had an engine fire starting from our exhaust on the long tube headers. And man, that really sucked. And the car was burnt to a point that I wasn't going to fix it. Like the insurance was like, oh, it's fixable. And they kissed my ass. So we sold the car as is. We took the insurance money. That's why I bought my orange one. And then of course we're paying a little more for it too. But I did love that car. So get another vet. WS6 Trans Ams are bitching, and I've always loved that look. But there's just something fun about those vets, man. And the 5, brother, like I love my 6, I do, and it's probably faster because it's not stock either than my 5 was, and it's more comfortable. It's got more creature comforts and gizmos and bullshit in it, and I actually like the color better, and I love the transmission because it's a 6-speed auto instead of the 4-speed auto. But there's something about that 5 I just miss. There's a certain look to that body, and I miss the pop-up headlights, as shitty as they were lighting the road. I miss those things. It was like the last, I don't know, it was just the last vet that felt like a vet. So I do miss my 5. But I don't get me wrong. I love my orange C6. So definitely get another vet. That's cool that you were there. So I still owe you a race. I'll race you on foot. I'm really fat and slow. You'll beat me. But they're fun cars. They're really fun cars. So. All right, guys, anything else? We hop off here for the day because I wanted to share with you about the investors so you knew that we were using your money wisely and that we were going to be doing some cool stuff with it. And I wanted to share with you a little more about that scaleless Western Diamondback and how we got that. And also, since, that's money you donate, we used it for, how much of it we use. Because when people hear scaleless in today's world, they instantaneously think, holy shit, you spent a whole crap ton of money, like thousands upon thousands of dollars, because we're used to the ball pythons and we're used to seeing what the first one sold when they first hit and all of those stories. But the fact is, scales and other species aren't that expensive. They're pretty prominent in corns and kings. You just don't see them in the venomous too frequently, but they've been out for long enough that $450 is what got it happen. I will do it. I will pet it. Not like you think though. It'll be tail and hook and oh, that feels weird. That's what's going to happen. So, yes, we do have some that are coming off food. So, it's happening. Most of them are still eating pretty good, but we have probably about 4 or 5 that are kind of like eh, and some that are chasing it, not eating, and some that are doing weird stuff, which is normal. Probably my first one to go. Let's see if I can get that block in. Yeah, there we go. Will likely be, I think, this one here. Now she's a normal pastel, but she looks bright, definitely in glow. So yes, and looking like their building is really good. And this is another one that is just a straight up Mojave. It doesn't really look like a straight up Mojave right now. Definitely got the glow going on. And she's not eating very well. And then others like are pounding food. Like this girl here, which is the Patreon snake going to the banana black pastel. So it's going good. So and to see building for me, it's really hard. Unless I'll show you. I'll grab one that I think is starting to build and do a few things. If I can find one. Maybe it was this one. You're in shed. Ugh. Let's see if you got the look. And you can see that one does have the look. And it's right through here. It just widens out, you know. That's what I'm looking for. Even though she's in shed. See if I can find another one that's got the look. Oh, you're so angry. Whoa. Why are you being this way? I know it. You're just not a happy snake right now. And that one, not as much of the look. But it's really kind of almost hard to see. God, you're angry. She's angry. Maybe it was this one too. One of them was really prominently building. I can't remember which one it was. Yeah, here you go. I think it is this one. Nope, it ain't that one. It was just the way she was laying right now. But she's building, but not super prominent. They just almost start to triangulate out. It looks like they got a little bit of a bulge in them. But it's so hard to find the ones that maintain that look. Like this is a girl that shows a lot of interest in food, but is not eating. And she's looking like she's going into shed right now. And she doesn't really have that building look yet. Not too much. So let me get the other pastel out. I'm going to try to find one that's got it. And then I will have to go eat dinner. Oh. There you got it. There you can see it really clear as day. Right in here. Boom. You can see that swell. She's building towards an ovulation. There you can really see it. So that's what I look for. And the sonogram, I just kind of read a little bit about that just now. Let me read that full comment. Oh! So I've never used one, and I kind of agree. They're going to go or not. So, you know, it's either going to happen or it's not. If I run a sonogram on them all the time, it may take out some of the guesswork, but it's not like I'm going to be like, oh, well, the follicles are at this, so now I'm going to breed. I'm going to breed them anyway, because I think breeding can kind of cause that follicle growth at times. Like it can help with things, so I'm not going to say, oh, they're this size, I'm going to stop breeding either. I'm going to continue to breed. So I don't really feel a need for one. Maybe one day as a purchase just to make it a little easier maybe, but it is way far down the list of shit that I think I need. So I'm kind of with you. You know what? That's cool. That's pretty cool incubation there. I would look for a way to raise the temperature a few degrees personally. You know, 87, 88 is about the coolest I'd want to go. That's about what we're going to incubate our super black pastel clutch at, see what it does. But that's kind of on the low end. So if you can find something that's a little bit warmer or add in a second heater, maybe you'd probably be better off. Or a bigger heater if it's a homemade one. That might definitely be better. Yeah, and Dylan, if she's got that little pooch to her, things are going really good. All right, guys, and that's not an ovulation yet. We're building. Her ovulation will look like she swallowed like a rabbit, and I'm like, holy shit, if you catch it. So, all right, guys, let me hop off here and go eat dinner with the wife. I wanted to say thank you, and I want to say thank you again for that Scaleless Western. The first time I saw a picture when I really wanted it. I saw somebody mention I should get a pied one day. Darkness is doing good. She's been breeding, but she's not showing. Well, you want to breed right now, don't you? We'll see if she's showing any signs. And yeah, you're starting to get some signs from her. Look at that. We're getting a little pooch belly out here. Yeah, we're starting to look decent. Ways to go, though. She also did just eat recently. Yeah, get back in there, baby girl. Okay, back in there. Not in there. In there. Now, the pied rattlesnakes, I want to touch on that, and I will actually hop off of here, is something I would love to have. I've only ever heard of one, and it was a red diamond, not a red western diamond back, but a red diamond rattlesnake. And I've never heard of another one. And that one died, from what I understand. So I don't think there's really any out there that I know of, but I would love to see one. Pooch belly is, no, you must be on. I'm in the same boat, brother. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll catch you next week.